Hi, it's Baxter Scruggs, Guild Mortgage Company. Just want to give you a quick update on the financial markets, which are in upheaval right now. Both the stock market and the bond market or interest rate related markets are getting hammered this week. If you go back I think it was about 10 days ago, the Dow Jones had never had a 1,000 point drop in any day in its history. And then it had a 1,000 point drop, and then it had a 2,000 point drop. Today it's off about 2,400 points. The stock market's down almost 10% just in one day. So major upheavals in the stock market. You would think normally in that type of environment that interest rates would improve and the bond market would improve. When the bond market improves, that means rates are dropping. But that's not the case. We've had 4 straight days of upward pressure, pretty intense upward pressure on interest rates too, at least the mortgage rates. Some of the things like T-bills maybe calmer or maybe dropped a little bit. But the mortgage rate market has definitely had 4 bad days backing up to where rates were maybe 3-4 weeks ago after the initial coronavirus news had driven rates downward. The whole 3 or 4 week of thing playing out of pushing it to all-time lows all the way until last week has been unwound in like 4 days. So you've just had the markets are kind of convulsing right now. And the main thing on that is because we're in unprecedented territory when it comes to this pandemic and how it can play out through the world economies. And we're already seeing that with, the NBA announcing they're suspending the season maybe to start it up later when this passes through. You're seeing a lot of, everything from conferences to sporting events to whatever being canceled or postponed. So it's a case of really unprecedented wind down of any kind of get-togethers or groups, and the effect worldwide on the economies obviously is going to be very, very dramatic. So that would explain the stock market. What's ironic right now, though, is interest rates pushing up, because usually when the stock market's getting hammered, interest rates will improve or at the very least stay stable. So the Fed today came out and I think they said they're doing like a $1.5 trillion stimulus, trying to help buffer the downturn of at least U.S. business and not feeling the effects of the global economy dropping down. That'll only take things so far. They're just trying to stem the losses and give some kind of financial economic support or market support to the economy, but that can only go so far as this coronavirus has to play out over time. So unprecedented challenge, I think, in this pandemic. I guess, I don't know, historically, I think it's the first true pandemic it looks like we're going into since in 100 years, 1918, the Spanish flu. And, as interconnected as the world economies are, obviously it's affecting every country and every business and some industries worse than others. But right now there really isn't a market per se. On the stock market and the mortgage market are just in total upheaval. So on the mortgage side of things, what I'm hoping is that can stabilize relatively quickly and maybe come back a little bit and start dropping back downward. Maybe not as low as it was before, but certainly lower than it is now in the 4 days that it's lost. And we can get back to some kind of meaningful numbers. But right now it's just 4 days of really, really bad movement upward in interest rates. Stock market, obviously, I think that's going to take longer to come back. But I think when this gets behind us, and hopefully without too much disruption worldwide, I think the stock market can come flying back. But in between now and then, there's probably a lot more economic pain to feel on that too. So message today as far as mortgages go, whatever gains we had, the all-time lows we were talking about last week have just totally evaporated. And now we're probably up to where we were, rates are still great, but we're probably up to where we were about a month ago. And no stability in either market, the equity markets or the mortgage-backed security market. So I wish I had better news for you than that, but just wanted to update you because the stock market you see right away on the news. Interest rates are a little bit harder to pick up in the mainstream news and what's going on with them, but there's definitely been upward pressure this week. If you have any questions I can answer for you, feel free to give me a call. My number is 760-497-7705. Thanks.